I guess I'll start off.
What's up, guys?
So I was in 6th grade when I first got it, and it was just life changing, and I wasn't really I wasn't entirely sure what was happening. I was still processing it, so it was definitely like a change. And then I was 11 years old at the time, and I originally started off with just shots and like the checking each and every day, and I'd gotten it right after football season ended, so it was in January of my 6th grade year, and I hadn't experienced it yet. But once we got to football, it was a lot more challenging because we had to work with taking off the pump after I'd gotten the pump, which helped a great amount. But it was taking it off, putting it back on halftime, testing halftime between plays, all that. And then a little bit after me, 11 months later, Jake got it, so he can take over.
Yeah. So the unlike any of these other stories which you have obviously just heard, I saw Hudson diagnosed. Me and him have been best friends since 5th grade, since we played on the same football team. So when he was diagnosed, I obviously had very little understanding of what it was. So I would just watch him kind of get a little bit of an understanding, but not really fully knowing what it was. And then 11 months later, like almost an exact year later, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and it was just such a big, just a huge advantage for me to have Hudson and to have the McKinney family just to help not only me but everyone in my whole family through the first couple months of just understanding everything and all that. So we both play football here at Martin County High School, and diabetes makes football a lot more difficult due to the fact that both of us are on the 670G Medtronic pump, which is, it's 2 ports that are connected to us. One is a continuous glucose monitor, which monitors our blood sugar levels, and the other one is an insulin pump that gives us the insulin. When we play football, we have to disconnect from our pump, which means for those 3 hours of practice each day, we aren't receiving a basal flow of insulin. With that being said, our pumps are not close enough on our body to the continuous glucose monitor for it to be tracking our blood sugar as well. So that means that we're not getting insulin during practice, and we don't know what our numbers are. So after practice, we always have to test, and usually our numbers are a little bit off. And this is especially true in the games, especially with the built-up adrenaline and all that, and the pre-game we can't have our pump in. So it's a span of about 4 hours that we don't get insulin. So our parents smartly have made us test before and at halftime of the games, and we have to make adjustments to our numbers if we need to at that point. But the unfortunate part is that if our numbers are high, low, or if they're not normal,
Can't play.
yeah, it can affect the way that we feel, first of all, and it can also affect our performance on the field, which is obviously not a good thing. And I mean, if you look at me and Hudson, we look like normal kids. You wouldn't look at us and say, oh, they have diabetes. Like, it's a disease that you look normal, and not many people really understand the struggle. They don't understand how we have to, as Hudson said, test 8 to 10 times a day to give ourselves insulin to make sure everything's always in. All the sleepless nights. I know my continuous glucose monitor actually isn't working right now. So every night at 2 a.m., my mom has to come in, wake me up, and make sure my numbers are okay. Big shout out to her for doing that. I know that's obviously not the thing that you want to do, but very grateful for her to come help me with that. And I know I can say this as a definite for me, and I'm sure I can speak for Hudson too. A cure for diabetes would just be completely life-changing, would make everything easier. We wouldn't have to focus, we wouldn't have to worry. We could just play football without concerns, and that's really all I have. Thank you for listening.